get. If you is na a diaspora Sierra Leoneans, you get more benefit than that of the FDI where they come. But all of these again, because we Sierra Leoneans them, we are not business oriented. The other day I was talking because I've been just to give the landscape of the investment na salon. But we get all of these incentives them in place.
Okay. And so you don't begin touch on the key issues. I want to hold you there first because I come back and address some certain questions. I want to turn to Mr. Abubakar. Una na Ministry of Trade and Industry, now una na the papa for the private sector. Now una they do own the private sector and ensure say the private sector grow together with other agencies. What's in the vision and una policies na the ministry where go make the private sector grow?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Melvin. I think as a ministry, they operate under a mandate, and I want to tell you clearly, say we acknowledge and recognize the work of the private sector, and because them are a growth engine of this particular country, Sierra Leone. So we mandate at Ministry of Trade and follow we develop policies, programs where they facilitate trade, not only at domestic level but also at international level. Over the years, we get policies that we don't, what in Englishman call obsolete. The policies that we don't take. You will agree with me, say for quite some decades now there has been some improvement. There's at least there has been some updates on some certain intervention. So as a ministry, we may therefore at least think twice, say it's time for us to review some of our key policies. We will help the private sector for streamline their operations within those policies. So what we do as a ministry together with the development partners them, we may therefore get support. We may therefore review some key policies. One of them policies and the industrial policy. We review the industrial policy for ensure say we get a very convenient industrial landscape where the private sector can tap into and expand the businesses. We also review the agribusiness policy. Of course, you will agree with me, say now we have a shift. We get the cottage industries there where most of them are operating under the agribusiness sector. So we will also therefore improve the agribusiness policy, then the cooperative policy as well. We improve the cooperative policy for ensuring we get a very conducive landscape for businesses then for growth. Then we may also review with special economic zone. If you look at Sierra Leone, free to not to Sierra Leone, the country don't they expand. So as a trade ministry, we want to ensure that we have special economic zone across the 12 districts within Sierra Leone. So we start with it. We review the policy. We ensure say we get some certain component there within those policies where they promote and facilitate trade. And quite recently, we just done review with SME policy as well. As well as the SME Act, where they create the enabling environment for businesses then flow.
Thank you, Mr. Abakar. But people now also go say, autonomous government they review policies. Them policies there seem not for to get effective impact on business growth. To you now from the ministry, what are some of the key provisions there? Now, any of them policy they are will go directly impact the growth of the private sector, because you talk about industrial policy, you talk about agri business. We the president in flagship program na feed salon and agriculture will try for boost agriculture. But if we not get the business arm of agricultural development, the production will go increase because nobody know go plant if market not there for sell wetin in a plant. So it's not the policy then we directly speak to that government in feed salon we go impact the ordinary person life.
Thank you, Mr. Melvin. If you look at the 5 big game changers of the government, one of it is youth employment. And if you look at the industrial sector now one big sector now in Asalo where they provide jobs for youth. So as a government we want for position we serve for ensure say we achieve the objective of the president. Mind you, we for produce 500,000 jobs for our youth, and the industrial sector, they contribute over 50% of that job. So as a government, as a ministry to be precise, we ensure say we get a policy where they speak. For instance, just as my brother said from from NIB, when an investor come, they get a point of contact. We also, within the policy, we get a certain range of job employment, a criteria for meet. So you need to produce so amount of job for our youthful population. So that's all of that encompass inside the policy. Then make we streamline the policy for ensuring a match up to the medium-term national development plan.
All right, thank you. Over the years, especially in the past 1 or 2 years, we see the growth of some industrial companies big under the under the SEZ or with it. So now I will come to NIB on foreign direct investment, but if people like say that industrial policy, yes, they attract foreign direct investment, but how Sierra Leoneans go benefit from the SEZs and the special economic zones and the industrial policy, so that Sierra Leoneans too will expand then companies into factories and industries?
Yes, Mr. Foy, you will agree with me, say if you travel to China, if you travel to Japan, if you travel to other countries within the world, they have special economic zones, and these are industrial zones. If you check most of these zones, they provide jobs. So Sierra Leone, we having the industrial policy don't create the enabling environment. We don't set the base for attract more employment. I can tell you, say we get Arise IIP, where don't meet with the leadership of the Ministry of Trade, then together with other MDAs for establish a special economic zone at Koya. This now a zone where for provide over 10,000 jobs for youth. So as a ministry, we mandate now for we get a policy where they guide that process in line with the president's vision.
Okay. All right, thank you. So now turn to Mr. Sise from NIB. We just talk about foreign direct investment, but before I go to the PPP and the other part, I want to specifically talk on regulations and doing business climate. Specifically, I want to talk about registration of business formalization. Last weekend with conversation, this featured strongly that the business formalization landscape is very confusing. Majority of businesses, according to one survey of over 150,000 businesses, 70% are in the informal sector. And of that, even the 30% with the formal, most of them now with the local councils they register. They not register with the formal one company or ORG or CAC. Now una get the mandate as they don't bring all the institutions and the under una. What una they do for improve this business formalization process so that person wey wan start in business, you know, go say for register so you get for spend money, you get for do this, it the time consuming. What una they do for ease that?
Thank you very much. Just like I mentioned that the NIB, they do investment facilitations, business registrations, and that of PPP facilitations. On the business registrations side, waiting we don't do now with the establishment of the NIB, all businesses, whether not sole trader, whether not partnership, whether not companies, all are being registered through the National Investment Board. But the waiting we they try for do now for streamline the process, we they try for digitalized. All country don't move towards digital. We want create waiting and call online business registrations. You don't need to come to our office to register your business. You can sit down and you host just like how you apply for visa. You they fill the form, you upload all your documents, them you sign. If you get for make payment, you pay. No human contact. Now they will they try for go towards.
Okay.
So once you want to register business now, any partner the world where you do, you can do all that day. Now that process just like I say, we as National Investment Board, even though the act was passed in 2022, effectively we came together last year November. But we are trying to streamline all waiting we don't meet. All the backlog work that we don't meet, we don't try for clear them. But now the end result done. We digitalize the entire system. You don't need to interface with us. If you want certified true copy, you just go, you fill the form, you make your payments, we look at the back end, we send them to you. So that is where we they go.
How long this process they take? And person, the people in our house say they will say how long, because time and money.
We now 2-track process we they do. So waiting with the true with the support from the World Bank, we dey try for bring all the businesses them we charge with the responsibility of business registrations now one building under the NIB. So
One-stop shop.
One-stop shop. When you go inside the one-stop shop, if you don't get your NACRA, you need for go take your TIN number, you go na NRA. If you need NACIT, you go na NACIT. If you need local council permit, where una dey feel say na the business registrations, no, then they give you permit for let you operate within a locality, but the business license self na NIB na the issue am, na the give you am. Within the council and they give you na permit for operate within their vicinity. So we dey create all this. So in view of that day, we don't set up what we call business registration coordinating committee. Where we get the ONS, we get the police, we get NIA, we get all of we charge with the responsibility for coordinate this, so that we make this work for Sierra Leone and them and FDIs them very seamless. Okay. So when they come, you they know exactly how much you they pay. Because now, even in terms of the payment, it's fragmented. You go on one side, you come to we, you pay 250. You go for a permit, you pay 4,500. You know they work. So we get for streamline, we make the ease of doing business very comfortable. Because the bigger thing now for we able for the people and for they able to do business, they're able to make contributions to the gross domestic product.
So when this thing they go online, because right now I able to apply right now through online.
The digital platform it will take time, but the online business currently, if you go to our office, you will see the dip and broke.
Okay.
So we dip and partition all down there for bring everybody. The one-stop shop go happen very quick, but the digital platform within the process we been get World Bank been don't show interest for provide support for we on Dandy. But the project don't lap, so we look at other opportunities then for let we bring this platform come as quickly as possible. I'll be able for experience Uganda they own. I sat in London with some of my colleagues then, we upload documents them, we register business in Uganda within 24 hours. I say if Uganda can do and we self can easily capable for doing.
Thank you. Because this is an important topic. For the grow, for let the private sector grow, it get for start with formalization. And the first step now forget your business registered. Then you go benefit from whatever the government they offer or whatever they in the ecosystem. Back to Ministry of Trade. Business formalization. It not just stop with registration. Waiting on a current policy for encourage businesses, because they can say one survey say 70%, that is over 100,000 businesses surveyed, are in the informal sector. If the direct metrics we go measure say the private sector don't go, now for convert that 100,000 businesses then they to formal businesses, waiting at the policy owner get and how owner they go about for ensure say those over 100,000 businesses become formal businesses.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Melvin. I think business formalization is key, and I want to agree with you that we have over 70% of businesses as salon where they operate in the informal sector, and because of that, government they lost hugely. Government they lost a lot of revenue, and some of these businesses they deviate from paying tax. Some, if you ask them again, they will tell you say the processes they're very bureaucratic, they're very difficult. Just as my brother from NIB they say, governments through the National Investment Board they try for streamline policies, they try for get like a one-stop shop. They will help businesses them for able to register their business very easy, because that man way they sell na dove court. If you go tell her right now say for register in business, he go tell you say they will ask you for different kinds of documents them where you not get. So we at Ministry of Trade, what we don't do together with the development partners, the UNDP, the ILO, don't support we for make we launch what we call the formalization roadmap. Last year we launched this roadmap at the Atlantic Hotel. And this now for we help businesses them for transit from the informal sector to the formal sector, where they will able help them for get more opportunities, where they will help them for get more access to finance. Because if me na a service provider or if me na a donor, then your business not register, it will be very difficult for me to trust you with me finances, at least with me capital. But if your business register, I get the confidence, I get the belief, say yes, this person, if I get this kind of money, they go come back and pay. So as a ministry, we don't work on that one day. It's ongoing, and we believe, say, by the grace of God, we will ensure, say, 80% of our business is informalized.
All right. We don't talk about policy regulation. Now we hold them for small. Now go to the real world. And spotlight our business, na salon, we don't exist for a while. We it experience some of them challenge there. And we may ask them how government is support them. So now we go briefly for a break and get the spotlight from Madam Woki.
Today with the spotlight, Madam Woki, a Sierra Leonean fashion brand we only operates for plenty years now. As part of the private sector, Madam Woki only contribute for empower communities, bring innovation, and same way so boost the country economy. We carry out today for no more but in work, how government don't they support them, and waiting at some of the challenges we don't face as a private sector enterprise.
So my name is Marianne Kaikai. I'm the creative director and CEO of the fashion brand Madam Woki. The name Madam Woki be inspired by me great grandauntie. We I be paramount chief from a chiefdom called Blama Masakoi, and she was, and I be the only female ruling. We're not the only female family we get a crown. So I've been very inspired by a strong woman at the family, and of course they made me granny, and not me get any picking. So anybody we get in favorite girl picking the name I'm okay. So at the time when I decided say I want to set up my business, I decided say I the name I'm after that strong woman. We in be an inspiration in my life. Well, over the last 4 years, Madam Woki embarked on a skills training program. We will decide to want to empower 10,000 women across the country. And over the last 4 years, we don't train about 3,080 women. As a matter of fact, this weekend we get 8 women already graduate from the skills training program Nakono in tie-dye and batik in partnership with Partners in Health. So I think say for me, the empowerment of women, they are the heart of within Madam Woki they do. It's not just about we get knowledge, we keep until we safe. We think it's very important for now we empower and inspire the next generation of women that really come up. So that is definitely one of the things that I'm very proud of. Also, representing Sierra Leone at international stage, especially with international fashion shows, because most times people then get this negative idea about Sierra Leone or the country that we've been getting away with war, or the country we get a mudslide. So being able to represent Sierra Leone at an international stage, showcasing our fashion, showcasing our designs, and then just changing the narrative or the idea of it people get about salon. I think that's something we'll be very proud of. I think there's some of the challenges that we will talk about. I think we they face. I think it's across the board. Sometimes sales are good, sometimes sales aren't good, depending on people in spending power, like the country or like the world. Right now we all know there's inflation taking part in different side of the world, not just in Africa, even in Europe. Like people are very careful in terms of how they spend money. So they're telling the issue we get, whether they get an increase in sales. But again, it doesn't just affect Madam Woki, they affect all man course. Of course, the discipline as well in terms of, with the people that we work for, we constantly get for provide mentorship and skills training for them in terms of how for deal with customers, how to engage with customer relationship and stuff. That again maybe a small challenge, but it's not the biggest challenge. Access to capital or finance, because the work they do is very capital intensive. You constantly get for need money for source new fabrics, for source new designs, you're always thinking of expansion or what's next. So access to capital is also, and funding is also another small issue. Back in the days, we used to complain about electricity. I would aside today for talk, I would say it hasn't been bad over the last couple of months. So that's why we tell the government thank you so much for that. At least we know they get Boko blackout, because back in the days, we been get electricity issues, so you constantly get for one generation generators. Of course, the cost is quite high, but at least that it will reduce small bit. The tax is an issue, but the reality is not telling like no country no they not the one we know they pay tax. For me, I think as a fashion brand, one of the things that I constantly do, I know they pay too much attention on the challenges. With every challenge when they come, I try to face it head on. I always they think outside the box. I never try to focus on the negative or the issues that are happening. I always focus on the positive. So I will tell you, say during the COVID pandemic, nobody knows even about for Pitila shop. In my mind, I look and say, okay, we have a health crisis. How can we use fashion to bring about change? A lot of tailors them across the country were financially handicapped during the COVID pandemic, and we put a challenge out to one for produce 100,000 face masks. I didn't have enough tailors already before produce that. I hired 100 tailors across the Freetown municipality that work in my kitchen, that work in my bathroom, that work in my garage, and within the shortest possible, that work in my shop, that work in the changing room, within the shortest possible time, we be able to produce 100,000 face masks where everybody may think it's impossible. So if you don't live in a salon, you want no life. Stay every day in our challenge, especially when you get up in the morning. So for me, I never focus on the negative. I try my best to focus on the positive, that way I'm able to have a clear mind, and whatever challenge presents itself, I try for fight and heads on. So I have a team. There's division of labor. All man get what you do. We get staff them we now full-time staff. We get staff them we now contract staff them. So for example, with a lot of the skills training we now then we don't focus, but for the last 4 years, we get people already in a different parts of the country, where they provide with training them. So yeah. So one thing I would say, we have had a bit of support when we established skills training. So for example, over the last 4 years, we don't collaborate with like a different government institutions them, as well as donor partners. So for example, when we start the skills training program, under a program called SLEDEP, we work with Ministry of Tourism and the Sierra Leone Economic Diversification Fund, and we train. We hire for 250 women. There's a lot of demand, people wanting to learn a skill. We end up for 80. Something like that will be possible without collaboration. So that in our one support we don't get. Again, we also don't collaborate with Ministry of Tertiary Education under SDF. We offer the same thing as well, which is skills training. We end up for training about 250 women. So we have had those type of support. I think so for me now, the most important thing is expansion. It's not just about working in a small space. It's all about how we're able to collaborate and bring other people on board. Like the things that they really look at, especially within the next 2 to 5 years, is how do we open one of the biggest factories in Sierra Leone. We're not just dedicated to tailoring or sewing, but also even textile manufacturing. So those are the things that we're looking at. How do we also collaborate, within different countries? So, for example, the what we do for the past 4 years, Liberia don't invite you for we start a similar type of skills training program. So, for me, what I'm looking at is how do we collaborate across different countries? How do 2 different countries come together to work on a project where we get a lot of intertrade really happen. So how do we get 2 different countries to collaborate? We able for share some of your skill, and then we get now. So how we able to learn from them in terms of the expertise, whether maybe something then get good tailors them, or then get good pattern cutters. Those are things that I'm looking at. How do we also have a factory where, for example, all the young creatives that really come up, we're able to set up a space where, for example, which is almost like a selling point or selling hub where, for example, they're able for like a rent a space at an affordable cost where they're able for like a selling product. Those are things that I'm looking at, because so we were very big on not just skills training but also empowering the next generation of creatives that are coming up, because I'm not getting any younger. We get young people that really come up with fresh ideas. I was very lucky in the sense that I had very strong role models who really believe what they do and then support the idea, then support my vision. Other young people are not getting that. So for me, in terms of being a fashion designer, being a fashion house, those are areas that we're looking at. Well, one thing I would say, you got to learn for take risk. If to be realistic, I'm not for be able to achieve and do everything we are set out for do for myself. That in a one. Secondly, the other advice I would give that you get for invest by yourself. You get for then at that point where you don't invest by yourself and people see you and they're like, okay, this person has to know taking business from point A to point C. How we capable for taking for move from point C to point F and G. Everything it's all about baby step. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen one thing go. Sometimes, and then the other thing I would say now, there's even much better exposure, especially through social media. So Miki always tell people, and so you have a huge following on social media. What are you doing with that following? How are you impacting people's lives? How are you getting people to be interested in what you do? So for me, the options are there. Number one, you therefore be willing for take the risk. If you not take the risk, if you know dare yourself or do something different, therefore happen. Number two, you therefore be willing for invest by yourself. If you not invest by yourself, how you therefore get to that people for they invest by which you do. You therefore believe by yourself first. Pour money into into an idea where you believe say therefore be very successful before people say okay yes one for join you. Thirdly, I think say we have social media platforms. There's Facebook, there's TikTok, there's Instagram. There's so many coming up. So the one thing I would say, use the platform they need for market yourself, for market you product, because most people are very big on storytelling. A lot of the people that we don't need support with business over the last 4 years, especially in the diaspora. One thing I would tell you now that the story of the woman with their lives that will impact. The story of the woman they know the train. Sometimes if somebody not get money, I get people and way they save money for up to a year. They're like one for buy Madam Moki piece because of the woman they way the impact, because of the woman the way their life they change. So I think sometimes it's never gonna be perfect. Just put the raw, unfiltered content out there because that is what people are interested in. And again, it's not about the numbers because most people when they start up, then they look at somebody else. Oh, this person get 100,000 following, this person get 500,000 following. For me, I can always talk. Say the minute you begin compare yourself to somebody else, then you begin hinder your progress. Just focus on yourself. Just focus on your growth. Focus on who side you see yourself in the next 1 year. Give yourself a 1 year goal. Give yourself a 3 year goal. Give yourself a 5 year goal, and just work towards that. It's just baby steps. It is gonna happen, but you get for believe by yourself and you get for invest by yourself when it happen.
Fabulous. Welcome back. I hope so we learn Boku from the spotlight day. A lot of issues they para interview. Well, if we say they unpack her right now, we will take the rest of the if the few more we will need more hours. But particular thing that the founder of Madam Wokimbe and Kaikai raise we I want highlight. It talk about finance and investment money for art by business. It talk about the skills. It talk about access to markets, not only in Sierra Leone, but outside Salone. It talk, mention infrastructure, say the lights. They don't improve recently, bought a bad off, and them as businesses with the scale because they raise a cost to them. But most importantly, talk about for you, the ordinary businessman out there. They talk about resilience, how you therefore face the risks and challenges in doing them business here. Because if you don't take risk, you don't get return. And if you don't see them challenge there as opportunity for them improve your business, you don't get return. So I'll turn back to me guest then. May I talk a lot about key thing then, how one of our dream is to industrialize. NIB, if you would, if you are addressed from somebody like Marianne, if you are EPAM in A in attracting finance and investment, and B collaborating in public-private partnership. Wetin una as a government institution dey do for help am with some of the issues that we raise, the financing, investment, public-private partnership, and the market.
Well, thank you very much. For all private sector players, three things we then can normally they look for. Now speed, efficiency, and waiting and call predictable policy. They want way then do establish business, because for established business now one thing. I think one thing I take from waiting a talk na resilient. It's not common for Sierra and Sierra Leonean businesses. The moment where challenges then come, then they fold. But it shows a lot of resilience. Another thing again, I clearly see now in passion. And for you able to do business of that nature, you get passion for them. And when you get passion for them, I think the stage where in business there now, I think if you see somebody not care, and no say if the economy is not doing fine, then my business is not doing fine. It's not my business. It's overall economy. I think I take that from her, which is very true. So we need now for think about how it able for consolidating business. How do we grow? That is a good strategy.
The next stage now.
So there are several ways how we can think of what we call good strategy. Just like I mentioned, we can grow through what we call blended finance. Your money can come, just like I get support from SLEDIP, Sierra Leone Economic Diversification Project. We get projects there again where philanthropic funding them, where they come. We can find partner like the one and they for able for do skills training. It can use that as an anchor for able for accelerate to another level. Some of these support back where they come, there are two ways. We get what in call revenue support, we get what in call capital support. Just like I get visions for open factory, all of them thing and they. Then philanthropic fund and they we can come, you can tell them. Say I want capex. Instead of you give me this money for run and train them people here, buy this equipment then for we. So that I go able for use them. So you see, these are all what we call good strategy. Where it can able for bring can. We all work now for ensure say we facilitate when the opportunities then they we don't know say business of in type day. We get resilient, we get passion for staying in that corridor day. So we all work now for find ways how we can able identify what we call matchmaking. Identify them philanthropic funds then they we then can able for leverage this so that it go able for expand this support to several other women then.
Okay.
So
thank you. Thank you for that insight there. I want to go further more practically. So Mayan plan for be industrialized, set up your own factory and everything. But also maybe somebody don't see this interview interested in funding, investing in Mayan. You talk about matchmaking. Whether the person they for outside salon, FDI, whether not Sierra Leonean in the diaspora finance, or whether the person they inside salon. Waiting Mayan need for do for go to how he need for reach una and go to una and practically benefit from that matchmaking. Waiting that person where they get an investment and get money, waiting he need for do and how una go able facilitate that money they from that person they let reach Mayan.
So thanks very much, because even when you want to do matchmaking, you want to grow your business, you self get for ready. You get for ready in terms of your systems and processes them where you put in place. You get for be transparent, you get for open, because there are times your business can run a value $100,000 or $200,000. Now you get them. But somebody can cancel our partner with you. Me they come, I they give 20% interest on this. But the business go get for grow, sometimes $2 million. So even though not 20% you get, that 20% they big pass all the way you want game in there. But that understanding mostly in people in this part of the world not they understand. Because I remember sometimes back, somebody don't run in business for quite a long period of time. Then another big international firm will make an inroad into the country. They say, well, I'll take over your company. And I'll give you small interest on this. And not look at the value and they look at it, say, they lost control. And they miss them. And as a result, the company decided for go solo and establish a own business down the line, 2-3 years down the line, they die. So if na that affiliations the way they get, you know they only get the support na Sierra Leone, you they get the support internationally. Say me, I get interest na this company where it go becomes a generational wealth. Because when you dey for one small business na your own small corner, so Marianne get for look at your own systems and processes. I don't know what in systems and processes is. For let you do matchmaking if you dey, because most of the international conference the way they go, we get several other investors then way they out there. They want make inroads to Sierra Leone, but they no one can start afresh. They want somebody where we don't begin to do business, where they can able for can partner with. Now we call matchmaking. So, but for let them do that, they know they can no more can partner with you. Then get for do due diligence by you. Then get for look waiting your system get you. Get bank account. They run bank account. Some of we not they run with business bank accounts. We they run we own personal accounts them. Now we they run. We they mix we also work and we businesses then together. So all that then are the things then we need for streamline. So by the time you come, when we they make this matchmaking, they become much more easy for you.
All right, thank you. Now we all and the first and let's talk to Ministry of Trade. Part of the interview, Marianne mentioned a critical element because most times when we talk to businesses, they will say we need access to finance, we need access to markets, we need this. But they can most times leave one critical element when are the business skills, the entrepreneurial skills, because a very significant, not to just the money they buy and sell, you need the skills where you where go help you build a business. And also they talk about markets, how they don't collaborate, support, do some work na Liberia and other side. Una and a Ministry of Trade. What una they do for support businesses like Marianne them for building skills, entrepreneurial skills, and take them to the next level, not to that basic introductory entrepreneur, because Marianne kind of experienced business for the past 10 years. Now she needs to be investment ready for attracting matchmaking way the NIB they provide. What you una they do for support them, and then how Marianne Cable access the market, whether in West Africa or the whole of Africa, and how una own policy they support Marianne in that.
Thank you very much, Melvin. I think as a Sierra Leonean, I will be very proud for travel go Senegal, travel go Ghana, Nigeria, and see we all locally made products from Sierra Leone, you know, on the shelves of the supermarkets or business places within those country. Just as you said, as a ministry, we get agencies, and one of the agencies where they work directly with the businesses is SMIDA, the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency. So I believe say if you know say you're an SME, if you know say you're a small business, if you know say you're a medium in enterprise, visit SMIDA. When you visit SMIDA, SMIDA will able for, you know, at least grow your business, they're able for mentor you, coach you on what you forget as a business for grow. And also we talk about access to finance. Governments they support SME sectors within the country. Now we could get the Munafa fund. You know, now a fund where every year governments allocate for support SMEs, for support businesses. You know, so we encourage we SMEs them for tap into that opportunity, because government they do a lot of, you know, strives for ensure say we get a very conducive environment for we SMEs them. Then also visit SMIDA. We also get skills development department at SMIDA, where they organize trainings, bookkeeping, you know, at least, you know, financial, you know, numeracy and all. If you visit SMIDA, you'll be able to learn more about the work where SMIDA they do. You talk about access to markets. I still want for encourage businesses then for formalize, because we presidents don't sign a lot of international treaty, and one of it now the ETLS, the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, as well as the AFTA protocol, where this now opportunity for we businesses in a salon for tap into. But you will be amazed, Mr. Melvin, that most of these businesses are not formalized, and the criteria there you have to be formalized. For instance, the ETLS now a duty-free, quota-free, you know, access to member state market within West Africa. But if you are not formalized, there is no way, because there are required documents that you need for fulfill, that you need for meet at ECOWAS level. We will authorize you for take your products from Sierra Leone to Liberia, from Liberia to Mali, or Mali to Ghana and the rest. So I still encourage businesses.
Okay.
For you, we don't formalize, visit the Ministry of Trade and Industry. They will be able to tell you waiting and waiting at the requirements, waiting you need for get for access this particular market.
So something they come up now, yeah, would they emphasize on formalization and the rest? And you talk about SME. You know, being the private sector space, we get the way we economy day. If you like majority day in the informal sector, that's the SMEs and those small businesses down there, them bokum. So formalization is very important. But some kids don't go, they don't do like 10 years. Like Marianne and can business. They don't go to a level where not just that basic registration again. They get a registration document. But being investment ready, different from getting the registration documents then they. Smida, yes, done the try over the years for them small businesses. But if people like say government need for focus on a little bit on the upper small and the medium enterprises. Come here in kind to small business or micro enterprise again. Like the money for the money way it offer very small from here and in kind. But it still need fund for go beyond outside ide. It still need for be business ready. Maybe Smith and all equipped for offer prepare for that kind of investment there. And also the ETLS. How yes, it is because the concern they say AFCFTA they can. We just the open market to competition against with small businesses, against with local businesses. But we know they prepare with local businesses for face that competition there. Because if they're not prepared, we'll just go to get the products and no more. They can't inside the market. So meanwhile, we need to make use of the benefit. Waiting whose policy go address that gap the way they right now between person go start as a small business, but go ever go beyond a small business. Then the large businesses that they bought between migrating from the small business to the medium business in terms of support and benefiting from the ECOWAS programs.
Yes, I think for Maria in kind, she talks about, of course, collaboration. And I want to make Maria come on board for collaborate with the Ministry of Trade. We get a lot of international programs, conferences, exhibitions, and the likes. As I talk now, we team in Algeria on the after, at least the after the after exhibition, we start from the 6th of this month to the 10th, so they close, and we get SMEs them we the part of that particular exhibition they where they go for showcase Sierra Leone, at least products them in the textile, in the craft industries, etc., for expose them to international market, for build partnership, for attract more investors, for Kana Salon. So I will advise Maria for visit the Minister of Trade so that we will look into in business and see how best we can able for go in business from the point where they now to the more higher point. Just as I tell you about the markets are there. I think for make we able for access the aftermarket, appropriately as a country and as businesses, let me first utilize the ETLS. Because the ETLS now they create the platform. Like now the
for do business within the ECOWAS
state,
region.
yes. Because
So
if you look at the after it gets approximately 3.4 trillion dollar GDP and a market space of 1.3 billion population. So it's huge, yes. But if we're not able for trade within the ECOWAS member state, there is no guarantee that we go for meet up to after. They try for do a series of popularization on these protocols because most of the businesses they will tell you say they don't understand what ETLS they're about. Most of them will tell you say they don't understand what after they're about. So we don't start a stakeholder engagement at national level where we go for take up to the provinces then for ensure say we businesses them they understand the opportunities them where they behind the ETLS and the after so that they will for maximize those opportunities. I will be a very proud Sierra Leonean, just as I tell you, for serious Sierra Leonean products them for day na the shelves of this market.
Okay, so na the critical thing, because still we do cross border trading and everything, but people go say the tax for comot guinea come na make price go up and this and that, but like how you say, una need for do more, for get people for educated about then to policy then to trade agreements because they really dey affect our ability for export
Yeah.
to other markets, and competition they can be space they open wide, and we get challenge, but for let the private sector go, una need for do more. Famulem, I want to pause here small and just take a 2 minute break. We don't hear all the conversation. We get what we call market tips. How you go do your business and go help their business grow. So take these 2 minutes and listen to this for market tip. We'll do in the
Business don't
last,
turn the order of the day. Today, almost 7 out of every 10 young person involved in business. But not all man get shop for sidon or table for putting market. Now that make plenty people don't turn to online business for push their markets to the general public. Today tips go help the online sellers them on how they go able attract customers and make plenty sales. One, since na online business and a waiting customer they see go make him decide whether for buy or not. Always post clear and bright photo wey go show the product fine. When you snap your market fine one, the customer self go able see clear and pick wetin in one buy. Two, always give correct information about your product, the size, color, and even the expiry date. If you give wrong information about your product, that go create problem for you in the future. Some customers go drag you online, where that self go prevent other buyers for buy to you. Three, whenever a customer asks you for any information about your product, try as best as possible for reply them quick before they jump to another seller. 4. Not overcharge your market. Sell fairly where you self go able see your money. And better you sell fine, then your business go fast, than you dey overprice, where go make your market stay na you earn. 5. As a seller, you for be polite. Even if a customer asks you about your product and you not buy, not act rudely. Be nice. The way how you treat your customer go make him come back to you. 6. Learn for build trust with your customer them. Show proof or review and offer pay on delivery if possible. 7. Post regularly. Keep posting so people no go forget your page. 8. As an online seller, one thing wey go make you stand out na how you dey package your product. Package your product well and see how customers go like for buy to you. 9. Keep record of your business. Write down sales, expenses, and profits. 10. Do follow up with your customers them. Ask them if they're satisfied or okay with your product. Happy customer go bring new one. These are the tips we will bring for una today inside the Big Market Tips. So till next week Tuesday, get ready for another tips we go make una sell and buy smart inside this economy.
Mama, welcome back. Hope say that tip they go help for build your business and make you make more profit and grow your life. Remember, say you can still call or send text to 072 641 729. 072 641 729. We dey come towards the end of this program, but I just want to take a text message from a caller where they ask, say, in an online vendor and it is sell markets online on social media and all platforms. They say, but why then they ask them for like register and pay tax? NIV, why you think say important for this person for register and then pay tax?
This na a new economy way they don't create, the online economy. And not only for the NIB, all around the world, people are finding ways, because even though you dey online, you dey use the country in infrastructure. If you want sell the goods, you therefore use the road. People therefore move the goods from one place to another. So all this, if other ordinary people and we not the online, they use that infrastructure, they pay taxes. So you self therefore able for try for pay tax. But it's a whole regulation on your own. The whole world they think on ways how we can able for not only for pay tax, for register business system, for formalize on our businesses the way they online. So when we dey talk about formalizations, not only the business system where they physical, we also they look at the businesses the way they online. Because initially, a lot of people were thinking of ways, say, let we create your own money online. This is how the Bitcoin came into operation. So therefore, we are not going to even come into this real world. And it's not possible because you are using the infrastructure, so you just get for able for pay because we get for continue for provide for those infrastructure. We get for continue for provide for those roads. So government need money for do all of them things and then I make you get for able for pay tax. For pay tax, not duty to country. Not to think way as a real citizen you get for able for try for avoid them. So
All right, thank you. So we need for pay tax. That internet we dey use, now government build infrastructure for let you able get access to
correct.
online. That lightweight day for let you able post online and show you video. Now government they provide them. If you not pay you tax, government not go able provide all that infrastructure. So whether you na online business or you na mortar brick and mortar business, you get shop, you for pay tax because na that tax they help for bill salary. So as we dey close, I know say the public private partnership unit they under NIB now.
Correct.
A lot of activities that happen now the space, especially in the energy space and the health space and the road space where they talk about toll road, the roads being constructed, whether they are told private people they want invest in. And the two roads right now, the Moyamba Songo Road and then the Kenema Tongo or Kono Road. These are all investments into that space. Normally, in a government can be but with the FIBA like say individuals or businesses don't begin kind to that space. What do they do now the PPP unit for make Sierra Leonean businesses or Sierra Leonean investors get involved in them transactions here, and the local Sierra Leonean private sector is part of the process.
You thanks very much because just like you mentioned, we government not go able for continue for maintain and sustain this road. So that's the need why we dey try for bring private sector into that space. We dey bring private sector to that space because once you build the road, it's easy for you able for access them. You go save time, your vehicle go last long, accidents they not go dey happen, it go smooth and easy. Now the question is, all this thing that way with the draft, then contract, then how will they enter into? Will they be mindful of what we call the local content policy? So the Local Content Agency Act 2016. And that act, they make provisions for not only for employed Sierra Leoneans. It say you Sierra Leonean get for participate 1 in the shareholding, 2 in the management, 3 in the shop floor, so they employ them. And not tap though. It say if then goods then whether investor they come, then goods then they provide in this country, then get for buy and hire. So all the sand, the stone there where they need for the road, they not go take that money, they go buy them. They go able to use them. So it go help the economy, not only the roads, when they construct, it go bring GDP, create jobs, then they give Sierra Leonean the interest into all of this. So we make now a deliberate policy for Sierra Leoneans participation into all of this structure where I explained. So now so we they do them. All man get for ensure say they comply with the Local Content Agency Act. There we get the agency we are responsible for ensure say they monitor them. We they build them into the contract on the monitoring side.
All right, okay, thank you. But what that thing and they for talk under this PPP and waiting they happen. But we will dedicate one whole program to that event so that we will unwrap some of the issue there. I want to end with, because I get for do it, private sector investment. But we don't talk about growth. But for the grow no more, the economy they grow, yes. We private sector they grow, yes. We GDP don't expand, yes. But really, it is show in Sierra Leoneans they don't expand that GDP they. Is Sierra Leonean participating in that GDP expansion, in that private sector expansion? I want to ask this question, really, with private sector inclusive of Sierra Leoneans? And waiting at the barriers. Then also that issue of integrity, because now one of the things that they where Boku Sierra Leonean businesses go complain. Say for let bid for one project in government project, you get for Sabi Posi so, you get for bribe so, you get for do so. All that they reduce the space for the private sector. Ministry of Trade and NIB. Maybe we go start with NIB, then end with Ministry of Trade. What you una they do for make the private sector inclusive and get integrity and reduce that issue of corruption and the rest?
So we know waiting and call rent seeking, where you mentioned where they call corruptions. Waiting corruption they do to business, it increase the cost of doing business. Today I've been they talk to some investors them. Now I tell them see the moment as a businessman you come into an environment, you allow your first transactions to be polluted, that business is dead. You go dey feel say you dey enjoy that benefit there for that moment there, but you're not able because the fundamental principles for run the business now you don't violate. So for that day for happen, we always dey preach for what we call a level playing field. The processes get for be transparent, it get for be predictable. We know that the bulk of government businesses, 70% of government businesses centered around procurement. So you dey hear the reforms then now where they happen from procurement. Now we want go digital with procurement. When we go digital with procurement, when you dey submit your bid, you cannot be able to change it. You don't submit am. So when you don't submit and that date say we all dey go look am. Waiting day if you not been submit and bid security later on na net now they go give the procurement man you know dey work. And that's the easy way for reduced rent seeking in service provisions. It's all about going digital. Even the ACC now, we get waiting and call the NACS, the National Anti-Corruption Strategy. The new one where we develop. Unfortunately, I was part of the team where we develop am. Waiting with the tell Sierra Leoneans them for move towards. Now for let we digitalize with service system. When we digitalize with service system, we reduce the human aspect panel. When you reduce the human aspect, this whole idea about rent seeking, I get for bribe. That man do by under, they bring me bid na net. You swap down there for down there, not they happen where we go digital with all of this. So until we move at that stage, so we know now that stage we dey go so that we create a level playing field, so that we reduce the cost of doing business, so that it becomes a win-win situation. So.
All right, thank you very much. Minister of Trade, you want add anything to that? What you una they do for improve that, reduce that rent seeking, and make sure say more Sierra Leoneans come into the private sector, benefit from government contracts and opportunities within the private sector?
Yes, thank you so much, Melvin. I think I make we appreciate the introduction of technology because just as people have mentioned, digital. Now even the trade aspects we try for digitalize. Like we want businesses them for ensure say we get a digital system, we get what we call conflict of interest. And absolutely we want for deviate from that. No sooner you get all the relevant documents, you don't need for talk to anybody for apply for any contract or for any bidding. As long as you have all the criteria that is set, you meet that criteria there, you get all right for apply on a willing basis. I like you not sabi anybody. Don't fear on else. Just as my brother mentioned, corruption. We dey try to minimize the issue around corruption. Now make we dey as a government we dey try by all means for try to digitalize some of the services them so that we deviate from corruption. And I will assure you say His Excellency the President don't give you a mandate as a Ministry of Trade. Now we for ensure public-private partnership, we dey come up with what we call the Manufacturer Roundtable Conference in October. At least the 29th and the 30th we go for happen at the Freetown International Conference. So we are in all manufacturers within this, at least within Sierra Leone, they come on board. They get, a tete-a-tete with the president, with other key stakeholders, and for alight within some of the issues, the challenges they face in doing their businesses, and how as a government to be able to foresee, how we will for minimize those challenges. That's not the dream of His Excellency the President, and that's going to happen this year, October. Now the Freetown International Conference, or the 29th and the 30th. This now one strategy for ensure so we get direct contact with the manufacturers them and know how they do and witness some of the issues them where they go to challenges them.
Okay, Fambulen. Thank you, we don't deal with we throughout today. The issues them boku for discuss on the private sector. Follow end. I just want to remind you, see, this not just we na IGR we focus now for improve the lives of individuals. We don't talk about democratic governance. Now we're talking about economic governance because if the individual in life not improve, democracy no will mean nothing to them. And that's how it's important for us to talk about the economy and the private sector. We don't talk a lot of other issues here. Time not there for us to digest, go deep dive into any of all of their issues that they one by one. So what do they do for the subsequent programs? Now for take every each of them topic there over the next 8 to 12 weeks and talk about them one by one and address the critical issues where they happen there. So the next set of programs are focused on the SME sector. Why? Because the SME sector now the bulk, now inform the bulk of a private sector right now. 70% they provide our GDP. 70% of businesses in Sierra Leone are from the SME sector. We believe say that's a low hanging fruit. If we improve them, and it's not difficult to improve them. From there, we will focus on the other issues where they affect the businesses. So if you get concerns and comments and questions, you can send them towards the next program where we will expand on how then small businesses and the challenges where they face and waiting they need for the government help them and solve them. We'll therefore talk about access to finance. We'll therefore talk about infrastructure. We just talk about the procurement landscape. We'll talk about integrity, rent seeking, and how we'll digitize and improve the procurement landscape. Heads up, we'll get for talk about the issue there because now the critical issues there go lead to national development and go lead to the growth of the private sector. And if we not, I want to end with this one. If we not get a strong business, a strong partnership, Salon no go before. We need for create the right environment. And how they create the right environment? Now, when we get partnership between government and the private sector, government do its own improve, but everything not perfect too. The private sector self play their own role. When them two people, them two sectors, they partner, now we will get the growth of our economy. We will directly lead to the growth of the development of salon and improvement in real life. So I want to thank you to we guest them with there. Say we appreciate una when una come and we'll get for call, we'll get for the call on una again. For now we can discuss on some of the critical issues here. So fam we'll tell we next episode. I go on for say thank you for listening to me and we'll look forward for me tonight again next week. Thank you very much.
Business not to for just make money. Now the engine where they push the economy go before. From that businessman who are make them for sales to that entrepreneur where they do massive innovation where they shape the country in future. Kushe and Cabo now the big market. Also where they talk about business and how for make business go and change real life. Every week we get for the talk about the things that where they happen at the market, things that like waiting government they do, and how in the affect price, profits, and other things then, and we own safe life. Small business or big business or manufacturer or investor or farmer or all get for the inside the big market talk. So sit down, open ears, listen, and join we participate every Tuesday 5 p.m. na True Talk Radio 98.5 FM. Also, we dey build strong business for strong country.